Happy New Year, my lords and ladies. I am the Samurai back again for another Remnant 2 video. Clearing the Apocalypse difficulty is quite a challenge for a majority of players out there. Not to mention, clearing this difficulty will let anyone access the best trinkets and weapons in the game. Many of you asked me as well to come up with a build that can effectively do the job, so the Armored Titan was born. The Armored Titan's build is centered around robust damage mitigation to endure powerful assaults from bosses and mobs alike. Additionally, it boasts remarkable health regeneration abilities and the ability to maintain an unlimited supply of relic charges. Also equipped with decent damage dealing mods that can clear large group of enemies or can effectively defeat bosses. Overall, still effective in combat in terms of DPS while having max damage mitigation capabilities. This setup is perfect for anyone who wants to get that first sweet Apocalypse clear. Now time for the actual build, and starting with the Armored Titan's Archetypes. The Medic Archetypes stands out as the ideal foundation of this build thanks to its exceptional healing passives and outstanding prime perk it offers. Adapting to this build is the fun part given its capability to provide a generous margin of error in combat, especially when adapting to the most challenging difficulty levels in the game. Thanks to the Medic's Prime Perk Regenerator, a crucial aspect of this build is its ability to refund a relic charge after healing 250 health points within the party. Notably, this trait extends its effects not just to your character and fellow players but also to your minions, so we can fulfill the Medic's Prime Perk condition easily. When utilized effectively, the user can access an unlimited supply of relic charges. For the medic skill, I recommend acquiring Wellspring as an additional healing source, serving as a backup alongside our relic in case of necessity. This skill creates a healing puddle on the ground, offering additional health regeneration per second. Alternatively, if Wellspring doesn't suit your preference, Healing Shield is a viable option. This skill not only provides shield to the party but also provides health regeneration. While I lean towards relying solely on relic charges for healing and damage mitigation, both Wellspring and Healing Shield prove beneficial and are nice to have, especially in multiplayer scenarios. The Medic's damage perk, Invigorated, provides a 25% boost to all damage alongside a 5% critical chance that serves as a great enhancement, significantly bolstering this build's overall DPS. A pivotal advantage of this build lies in the Medic's team perk, Benevolence. This perk not only boosts our relic efficacy by an additional 15%, but also provides healing to our allies. This significant perk plays a crucial role in efficiently meeting the condition of the prime perk. The combined healing amount received by you and your minions easily exceeds the threshold required for a relic refund. Finally, there's a relic perk Benefactor, which accelerates our relic usage speed by 20% since we will be using a lot of relics later on, and this perk increases the build stagger resistance, perfect for clutch moments, which ensures the usage of relics. As for the second archetype, the Summoner fits perfectly since our dependence in this build is on minions. Specifically, I prefer the flyer minions since they rarely die on the field and consistently inflict damage on my designated targets. The Summoner's Dominator damage perk perfectly complements this build, especially when dealing mods later on. Its 35% mod damage boost and 5% mod critical chance bolster our overall damage output. Since your flyers are typically active on the field, anticipate a consistent damage increase from this perk. Given the heavy reliance on relic charges in this build, we'll make good use of the Summoner's Insight relic perk. This provides a steady 15% boost to your minions' damage, a 15% critical chance buff, and a touch of health regeneration for added benefits. Moving on to the Armored Titan's equipment, and starting with the long gun. The Sparkfire shotgun is the weapon of choice for this build, not only because of its great raw firepower, but also due to its innate ability to inflict burning status to targets, further increasing the burning damage over time for this build. On the other hand, this gun is not mandatory. You are welcome to use automatic long guns such as Black Maw AR-47 or the Chicago Typewriter. For the mod, I selected Firestorm mod for its exceptional firepower and sustained damage capabilities. Given that this build caters to newbies or first Apocalypse clearers, this mod allows them to concentrate on using the Sparkfire shotgun for more DPS or focus on surviving the actual battle. For the Sparkfire shotgun's mutator, I decided to use Harmonizer to take advantage of its 20% additional mod damage and 25% additional mod power generation for the stowed weapon. Turning my attention to the handgun, on the other hand, I opted the Nebula primarily because of its mod, the Nanoswarm. This mod deploys a swarm of nanomachines targeting nearby foes with a reasonable range and inflicting damage over time. Similar to the Firestorm's functionality, this mod is user-friendly. Simply switch Nebula, activate the mod, and you are ready to go. When the Firestorm and Nanoswarm synergize, they work seamlessly to deal substantial damage over time. For the Nebula's Mutator, I am using Failsafe Mutator to take advantage of that 15% chance to not consume the Nanoswarm's mod charge when using it and take advantage of its 20% additional mod damage increase. For the melee weapon, using the Krell Axe for this build is optional, but if you decide to use it, you can add more damage over time by inflicting overloaded and corroded status effects to targets if the Tainted Blade Mutator is equipped. Overall, it's nice to have but not mandatory. Now that the weapons are out of the way, let's discuss the Armored Titan's trinkets. Also, I will be providing alternative suggestions later on. But before anything else, if you are into straight to the point guides, tips, and tricks like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. Liking the video will surely help me a lot, and consider joining the Empire today, and your support is greatly appreciated. Now on to the next step. For the amulet, I suggest using the Whispering Marble to provide the build an instant 3 stacks of Bulwark and additional damage multipliers depending on how many Bulwark stacks are active. For the first ring in this setup, I am using the Dry Clay ring, which grants us a permanent 1 stack of Bulwark upon wearing it. Aside from the Bulwark buff, it increases this build overall damage by getting 60% of the build's total damage reduction. The next ring on the list is the Stone of Malevolence, which grants the build with an additional 15% mod power generation since we will be inflicting elemental attacks a lot. The third ring for this setup is the Seal of Empress. Simply put, it raises max health by 20 while reducing max stamina by 5. I opt for this ring to bolster my survivability considering its minor downside. Finally, Dull Steel Ring will take the final slot in this setup so we can reduce the actual weight class by 1 and avoid flopping since the Leto Mark 1 is quite heavy. In terms of the armor sets, I strongly recommend using the Leto Mark 1 set for its maximum armor points. If the Leto Mark 1 set isn't available, opting to Leto Mark 2 pieces is the next best choice. While the total armor points might be lower, it should still suffice for the build's purpose. Regarding the concoction choice, I opted to run this build with Mud Tonic to capitalize on the additional 25 health points bonus to further enhance the build's survivability. With equipment setup settled, let's focus on the relic choice. In this particular setup, Crystal Heart stands out as the optimal relic in my opinion. It regenerates 145% of your maximum health over 10 seconds. While offering substantial healing over the said period, this relic also impressively reduces incoming damage by 25% during its active duration. Yet, its most significant drawback lies in reducing our movement speed by 50%, which I find negligible in most cases since we can do normal dodge rolls anyway and we will be tanking a lot of damage, especially if you're a beginner. Moving on to the relic fragments, and I recommend adding more health, enhancing damage reduction, and boosting healing effectiveness. Now it's time for us to dive into the Armored Titan's suggested traits. Feel free to change what you think will work best on specific scenarios. Selecting the Medic archetype rewards the build with a free level 10 Triage trait, enhancing the build's overall healing capability. Opting for the Summoner archetype grants access to a level 10 Regrowth trait, further augmenting the character's health regeneration per second. Upgrading Fleshcaster to level 10 is a must so we can cast our archetype skill and mods quickly in combat by increasing the build's casting speed by 50%. Upgrade the Fortified trait to level 10 as this trait amplifies the armor's effectiveness by 50%, which adds more damage reduction to the build. I suggest upgrading Kinship to level 10 to survive Firestorm's damage just in case you and your summons got sucked on it. Following up with a Vigor trait to level 10 which add more survivability to the build, and a level 10 Spirit is also suggested so we can frequently cast both of our mods in combat. For additional damage reduction, prioritizing a level 10 Blood Bond is crucial. This trait enables minions to absorb 10% of the damage directed towards the caster. While this means your minions may endure extra damage when you're hit, it's manageable since you can readily restore their health using relics. It is beneficial for this build since they can significantly increase the frequency of relic refunds. The next trait to focus on is Gluten at level 10, which accelerates our relic usage speed. It is recommended to aim for a level 10 rugged trait, which boosts your minions' health by 100%, ensuring they endure longer during battles, especially when they are helping you absorb damage in combat. Second to the last trait is Fitness trait, which grants the build with an additional 21% evade distance, so you can position better in combat. The final trait listed here is the Bark Skin at level 1, providing the build with an additional 1% damage reduction, effectively pushing us to reach the damage reduction cap, which is 80%. A couple of useful suggestions before we wrap this build guide. The Armored Titan offers a straightforward gameplay experience. Starting with skill rotations, I usually start with summoning both of my flyers in combat, activating the Nanoswarm mod, activating the Firestorm mod, and dealing damage with a Sparkfire shotgun. When the Firestorm and Nanoswarm mods are ready to go again, use both accordingly as you can cast both mods in combat frequently thanks to the Stone of Malevolence Ring. Watch out for your summon's health and don't let them die. Heal them if necessary and you will be scoring Relic Charge Refund easily. This build significantly eases the gameplay, particularly when navigating the challenges of Apocalypse difficulty. Fights will be longer than usual, but you will have the peace of mind that you will never go down easy. If you followed my previous suggestions, this build should now have a total of 80.1% of total damage reduction when using a relic. One thing that I do want to mention is strategically timing the Crystal Heart's use stands a pivotal tactic in this build. Typically, I activate it when I aim to absorb a specific attack rather than dodge them, allowing me to retaliate and deal damage. Now for the alternative trinket suggestions, if you want to focus on movement speed in combat, on the other hand, I suggest following this setup. Equip the Red Dose Sigil or Talisman of the Sun instead for the amulet, equip Dry Clay Ring, Soul Guard, Seal of the Empress, and lastly, Ring of Omens. Following this setup, the amulet suggested and the Ring of Omens allows the build to effortlessly maneuver around the arena without any weight or movement restrictions because of the ability of Misty Step. The build will have a lower DPS on the other hand and mod power generation, however you can enjoy buttery smooth dodges in combat for better overall survivability. And that's it for Armored Titan build guide, and go get your first Apocalypse clear and enjoy the rewards. If you learned a thing or two or you enjoyed this video, hitting the like button will tremendously help me a lot. If you want to support the channel, our Patreon link is in the description, or consider being a member of this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you guys can be updated with our latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay awesome and safe, and I will catch you on the next one.